Sea of Thieves Voyages are awful, and they kind of always have been, but it's even worse now than it ever has been before. But before we get into what can be done to fix them, let's go back in history. When Sea of Thieves first released, there were only 3 types of voyages: X marks the spot voyages, skeleton bounties, and merchant cargo runs. This system had almost no variation, and so it's changed up a lot over time, with riddles, vaults, ghost fleets, and more being added to the pool of voyages. However, even back then, there was variation in the amount of treasure you could get. It was different each time you did it. Especially upon getting a high level in a trading company, you had variation, and it made it interesting. However, even with all these features, voyages were not a very used feature for people with a lot of playtime, as they were pretty repetitive after a while and didn't give an amazing amount of treasure. So Rare realized that they needed to make a change, and they decided to completely rehaul the quest system, for the worse. Now, instead of getting a variable amount of different types of treasures, you get a set 2 pieces of the same chest each time you do it. Or, if you do a captain's voyage, you can get 3 chests each time. It takes all the mystery and fun and excitement out of doing voyages. This change, alongside the addition of King's Loot being dropped from randomly spawning bottles and skeleton captains, makes it almost feel like this is an intentional effort to lead players away from voyages, which in my opinion is not a good choice. The voyage system should be one of the central cores of Sea of Thieves, not just a tutorial for newer players. You should be able to do the original voyages, like riddles and X marks the spot voyages, without sacrificing loot gains, as currently things like vaults, lost shipments, legends of the Veils, and ghost fleets are just so much more efficient for loot gathering in terms of voyages. The point I'm trying to make is throughout the years, but now more than ever, experienced pirates have turned away from voyages as a method of making gold and, more importantly, having fun. So what can be done to fix this problem? Well, let's take a step back. What is a voyage? When you think of the word voyage, what comes to mind? I think of a long, difficult, complicated sailing session to get your destination. More importantly, a voyage is a story. A voyage should be something that allows you to sit down in a tavern and regale your fellow pirates with an edge of your seat story. However, I invite you to tell me more than one time that you did a trading company voyage in Sea of Thieves and had a good story to tell as a result. In my opinion, there should be 2 types of voyages in Sea of Thieves. The current ones we have should be what they feel like, which is tutorial voyages. However, when pirates are ready to get their feet wet, they can raise an emissary and embark on a high seas voyage. High seas voyages, defined in one word, would be chaos. To access one, you would need to be emissary grade 5, so it would be encourage players to keep emissary flags up and not cycle them. Random spawns, like skeleton ships and megalodons and krakens, would be increased by a large amount, and natural features such as fog and storms have a higher chance to spawn on players. In addition, I believe that there should be also new random encounters that could spawn on you. The actual voyages could possibly introduce some tall tale mechanics, like traps for variety. And the treasure should be of higher grade the higher distinction you have, all the way to distinction 5. Personally, my favorite voyage in Sea of Thieves is the Legend of the Veil. It's without a doubt the most engaging and fun voyage in the whole of the game, and is the only voyage I actively seek out, as it has an amazing balance with the amount of loot given, the amount of fun you have, and how long it takes. And I see no reason why some of these features can't be reshaped to fit the other trading companies. Maybe for Order of Souls voyages, skeleton ships will constantly do battle with you until you sell the skull you got from that captain. Or you'll have to go through rooms full of deadly traps to get to the secret vault that you got a random key from digging up that X marks the spots map. Or maybe, after looting a shipwreck, a megalodon will come and stalk your ship until you kill it. I mean, there's just so many options that would improve the voyage system so much, and I think these would be an amazing start to fixing the PvE problem in Sea of Thieves. However, there are still 1 or 2 massive problems which deserve their own videos: the environment and the economy. I will be dropping the videos on that on the next few Fridays and potentially make a wrap-up overview video, so if you want to see those, make sure you subscribe and put the notification bell on so you don't miss those. If you have anything to add to what I've said here or any suggestions, make sure to drop a comment. Thanks for watching to the end, and I will see you in the next video.